One of my most eagerly awaited events each year is Empty Bowls. And Tanya Shearer, as always, is back to talk to us about Empty Bowls. Thank you, Tanya, for coming in today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I enjoy being here.
How many years now is this for Empty Bowls?
This will be our 13th Empty Bowls.
Oh, wow.
So we are excited. We had the first one in 2003. So
Right,
this is
and
our
I
third.
remember that very well, and I think it just seems to get better and better every year.
Yes, it does.
For people who are not familiar, tell us what is Empty Bowls.
Okay. Empty Bowls is a fundraiser to raise money for the food bank, Cullman Caring for Kids. Empty Bowls was started in 1993 by a man named John Harton up in Michigan. And he was an art teacher at the time, and he and his students wanted to raise money for their food bank for hungry people. And so they made bowls and ceramic glass, and then they served a simple lunch of soup and everything. And the object of the Empty Bowls is that you don't get a lot to eat, because it's a very minimal dinner, so you remember people that don't have a lot to eat. And then you keep the bowl as a keepsake on your desk or in your dresser to remember hungry people all the time. And I just think he's an amazing man. I've got to talk to him on the phone a few times. He now lives in North Carolina, which is the pottery capital of the United States. And since that time, Empty Bowls has spread to all 50 states. It's in other countries. They raise a lot of money. I mean, every community structures their Empty Bowls for the needs of their community, you know. I learned about it from Huntsville, and they did theirs in a senior center. And then the first year, Sandra Heaven was the art instructor at Wallace, and she was all excited, and we started Empty Bowls together, and the first year Empty Bowls. And then now, since she has retired and she's teaching at Meek High School in the art department, she has the old football field house, and she set up an art studio there. And she has started the Winston County Empty Bowls. So it's spun off of ours.
Show us one of the bowls that you brought so people know what we're talking about here.
Okay. This is an Empty Bowl. This is one that's been thrown on the wheel by a professional potter, okay? And actually this is one made by Sandra Heaven. And it was made probably at Meek High School in the field house there. And this is what you get when you come to an Empty Bowls dinner. We serve the chili, Bobby Nolan's chili, and we have a grilled cheese sandwich. And you eat it in the bowl, and then you take it home, and you remember it throughout the year, you know. And the money that you donate towards the bowl and your dinner goes towards Cullman Caring for Kids Food Bank.
How did you run across Bobby Nolan and his chili recipe?
I knew Bobby from First Methodist Church, and when I was developing the idea for the Empty Bowls and as a service learning project, and components are students and churches and communities and everything, I just knew Bobby had been, he's a chef and he has done a lot of catering, and so I talked to him about it, and he just took off like Sandra did right away, just so excited. He had always wanted to do something to help hungry people, like have a soup kitchen or do something to use his culinary arts skills to help hungry people. And so he has been there from the very first Empty Bowls, and it's just a wonderful story. The first year we thought, we only planned it in 6 weeks. We had our first planning meeting September 23rd, and we had the first Empty Bowls dinner on November 17th. And we thought, well, maybe we'll serve 200 people and maybe make $2,000, you know, for the food bank as a service project. And we served over 600 people and made about $5,200 for the food bank. Bobby ran out of chili, we ran out of bowls. We sent all the high school youth students who could drive at First Methodist, they were out buying up cans of chili all over the place in Cullman that night. So since that time, Bobby has been very careful that we try to get our food counts in, that we don't run out of chili. That was a good problem to have.
Yes.
So, and just ever since the community just has embraced it, it's a beautiful organization to be a part of. I get to see firsthand the body of Christ working together, people using their different skills that Separately, we're all unique, but when you come together and everybody uses their gifts and talents for a common cause, it's just something awesome to see. It's beautiful. So God at work in all these different people. So
You wrote an article about empty bowls that has been published.
yes, this is my third Chicken Soup for the Soul story, and it was kind of interesting. I'd written an article how empty bowls started out and everything, and I had sent it in 3 years ago. And Empty Bowls, or Chicken Soup for the Soul, keeps their stories. They archive them, and sometimes if it's not appropriate for one story, it's appropriate for another book. And I got quite a surprise last year. Around June, I got a request to use this story. And of course, I had to update some information, but it was one I had sent in. And it's about how Empty Bowls came about and how much it means to our community. So I was really honored to have our story in there. So.
And then, of course, a booklet has been put together a few years ago.
This is Stephanie Bell and I, in 2005, we wanted to just tell the story of empty bowls in our town in an easy way for people to understand and maybe to communicate to children, to get this multi-generational, how they raise, children, to see their parents getting involved in children, to start looking around and see what's in your community that needs help, start to get identified. I kind of based it on, or it kind of to me always it seems based on Stone Soup, that old fable, where the soldiers came to town and they said, we need something to eat, and everybody contributed something to the soup. And at the end, it was a wonderful, delicious soup. So was everybody. So this is, Stephanie just did an awesome job of, creating all pictures of all the different components. We have the chefs, we have the potters, we have the TV stations.
Yes.
And just beautiful pictures. She just did such an incredible job. So it has a picture of First Methodist right there. So it's just a beautiful keepsake, and those will be on for sale at Empty Bowls too. So
Now, actually, Empty Bowls is much more than a bowl of chili and a grilled cheese sandwich. You have entertainment and you have an auction.
yes, we do. Okay, this year's entertainment, backed by popular demand, will be the Revelations. And Annelle Baker, and she wrote our Empty Bowl song based on our book several years ago. And also Dr. Shannon Green, he'll be here. So we're real excited to have him. And the genre of the music is Southern Gospel, which our people love every year. So we've gone with what people like the best, so we've gone with that. And also we have a silent auction. So Carol McPhee and Tammy Whitted from First Methodist are working real hard on the auction. It is, and last year it was incredible. Our auction really brought in a lot of income for Cullman Caring for Kids. We were very excited. The Sunday school classes at First Methodist are working on some beautiful baskets, and they're really nice because if you're going to have a gift for a wedding or a shower or a birthday coming up, you have these wonderful baskets that have, I saw somebody the other day and he said, he's going to make a tool basket, for a guy basket. So most of the baskets are for women, and he's going to make one geared towards men. So I am excited to see the baskets this year because they do an incredible job. The silent auction is always a lot of fun too. So
Let's talk about the important details, where and when.
okay, Empty Bowls will be February 15th, 2016. It's going to be on President's Day. We've locked into that day for, I think, the last 10, 11 years. That is the best day in our community. It's from 4 to 6:30. We do have takeouts available, and you can start picking up takeouts probably about 3:30. A lot of people like to just swing by the carry-out and just take home a bowl and their chili to eat. So. But we really want to encourage you that if you want to come in, it's a lot of wonderful fellowship. We see people from the community that maybe you only see once in a while or once a year, and it is just special. The hallway there, seeing everybody, and it's just a wonderful time for fellowship. You listen to music, sit with your friends, enjoy the music, bid on the auction, and support a good cause.
Do people need to get tickets ahead of time?
It's very helpful, so we don't run out of chili. Bobby likes to play it. And that's another interesting facet of the Empty Bowls Day. Bobby Nolan starts about 7 o'clock. He buys the ground beef. He goes to St. Bernard, and they have 60-gallon kettles there, and that's where he browns the meat for the chili, and he cooks the chili. And then he and Clint Creel will transport it back to the church about noon, and then the volunteers come in and they start making the grilled cheese sandwiches. So if you go to Empty Bowls that afternoon, you smell the chili cooking, and the grilled cheese sandwiches is wonderful. So.
And where do we get the tickets?
We can get the tickets at First United Methodist Church or Cullman Caring for Kids, and they're $10 a piece. And you get a dinner, you get music, and you get a keepsake bowl.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Tanya. We'll see you again at Empty Bowls.
Yes, thank you for having me.